In the span of less than a decade, Anya Taylor-Joy movies have become frequently talked about pieces of cinema. Technically, her first acting role was in the 2014 horror comedy Vampire Academy, but it was a minor character that was removed from the film's final cut. Taylor-Joy's career truly started off with small television roles. However, the actress had her breakthrough with The Witch, Robert Eggers' 2015 period supernatural horror film. After The Witch, Anya Taylor-Joy became a rising young actress, with more success and acclaim to come. Anya Taylor-Joy has starred in many horror movies, but she has shown her range in many film genres. In addition to her features, Taylor-Joy appeared in the short film Crossmagellan and the documentary Love and Tosha. She has also impressed on television as Gina Gray in Peaky Blinders and as Beth Harmon in The Queen's Gambit, for which she won a Golden Globe and Screen Actors Guild Award. With big movies like Furiosa and The Gorge continuing to cement her star status, it is clear that Taylor-Joy has a long and successful career ahead. 20. Playmobil, the movie, 2019. As Marla Brenner. Anya Taylor-Joy with a little girl on her back in Playmobil. Anya Taylor-Joy's worst movie is this adventure comedy based on the German Playmobil line of toys. The film centers on siblings Marla, Taylor-Joy, and Charlie, Gabriel Bateman, who get sucked into a Playmobil world. When Charlie gets kidnapped, Marla sets off on a journey with food truck driver Del, Jim Gaffigan, to save him. Since the Lego movie was such a hit, it's no surprise that other movies based on toys followed. However, Playmobil, the movie has none of the charm of the Lego movie. The film was said to be joyless and generic, with cringe-worthy dialogue, uninteresting musical numbers, and world-building that's very inconsistent. Playmobil, the movie attempts more emotional moments as well, but they don't exactly land. Taylor-Joy does her best with the material, managing to be charming despite the poor script. She also has a pretty good singing voice. Her opening number is the highlight of Playmobil, the movie. Bateman is decent as her kid brother, and Daniel Radcliffe is clearly having fun as Rex Dasher, a James Bond parody. However, for the most part, Playmobil, the movie is relatively uninteresting. 19. Morgan, 2016. As Morgan. Anya Taylor-Joy looking up in Morgan. After The Witch, Anya Taylor-Joy starred in this underwhelming sci-fi thriller directed by Luke Scott, the son of director Ridley Scott, in his directorial debut. Its themes dealing with artificial intelligence and free will are interesting, but the concept was portrayed much better in 2014's Ex Machina. Morgan is also hindered by its flat main character, played by Kate Mara in a role that doesn't do her justice. There is a twist at the end that does explain some things, but it feels unearned. If there's one highlight to Morgan, it's Taylor-Joy's performance. She is captivating as the childlike Morgan, who is really 5 years old despite having the appearance of a teenager. Taylor-Joy manages to give Morgan emotional moments that humanize her, especially in the video clips of Morgan having fun outside with psychologist Amy Rose Leslie. Though Taylor-Joy can't save Morgan from mediocrity, she still succeeds in making the film watchable. 18. Glass, 2019. As Casey Cook. Anya Taylor-Joy in Glass as Casey Cook. Glass is a disappointing final installment in M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable movie trilogy. The film brings back Kevin, James McAvoy, and Casey, Anya Taylor-Joy, from Split, as well as David Dunn, Bruce Willis, Joshua, Spencer Treat Clark, Elijah Price, Mr. Glass, Samuel L. Jackson, and Mrs. Price, Charlene Woodard, from Unbreakable. After David briefly battles with the Beast, a superhuman personality of Kevin, who lives with dissociative identity disorder, Dr. Ellie Staple, Sarah Paulson, intervenes and the two men are placed in a psychiatric hospital. The concept of crossover with two of Shyamalan's previous films is intriguing, but Glass underwhelms with the promising premise. The first hour of the film is slow-moving and doesn't have the suspense that made Split and Unbreakable compelling watches. Glass is also weakened by its constant use of expository dialogue. At this point, audiences are familiar with superhero media tropes, so having the characters explain them adds nothing new to the table. The final act is especially disappointing, with a twist that could have been more interesting if there was better build-up to it. Despite the script, the cast is clearly trying their best. Taylor-Joy shines with the limited screen time she has as she desperately tries to connect to Kevin and bring his original personality into the light. James McAvoy adept switches from one of Kevin's personalities to the next, even bringing some new personalities that weren't previously touched upon in Split. Samuel L. Jackson is having fun as the villainous Elijah Glass. Charlene Woodard injects the film with some tender, human moments as Elijah's mother. Sarah Paulson is compelling as the psychiatrist determined to convince Kevin, David, and Elijah that they aren't superhuman. Still, the performances can only elevate the movie so much. Split's ending offered an intriguing tie-in with the world of Unbreakable, and it's a shame that Shyamalan didn't do more with Glass's potential. 17. Amsterdam, 2022. As Libby Vose. Rami Malek, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Margot Robbie in Amsterdam. Rami Malek, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Margot Robbie in Amsterdam. For a while, controversial director David O. Russell's movies were on a hot streak at the Academy Awards, securing wins for actors Christian Bale, The Fighter, and Jennifer Lawrence, Silver Linings Playbook. However, Amsterdam not only failed to garner any nominations, but it was a bomb with critics and audiences alike. The movie was studied with A-list actors, but many pointed to the massive ensemble as a failure, criticizing the volume of characters and the confusing plot. Based on the 1933 conspiracy known as the Business Plot, a trio of friends, Dr. Bert Berenson, Bale, nurse Valerie Vose, Margot Robbie, and lawyer Harold Woodman, John David Washington, investigate the murder of their retired military friend Bill Meekins, Ed Begley Jr. Taylor-Joy plays Libby Vose, Valerie's sister. Whether it's a scream queen in her horror movies or plucky heroines like Emma or Princess Peach, Taylor-Joy rarely gets to play a villain, so it's a treat watching her as the patronizing Libby in Amsterdam, as she insists that Valerie be hospitalized for her nerves. But the scenes of Taylor-Joy's poised frostiness aren't enough to salvage the otherwise muddled 134-minute movie, and neither she nor the many supporting actors get much of a chance to shine. Here Are the Young Men, 2021. As Jen, Anya Taylor-Joy, looking worried in Here Are the Young Men. This coming-of-age drama, based on the book by Rob Doyle, had potential. Here Are the Young Men has a very talented cast of young stars: Anya Taylor-Joy, Dean Charles Chapman, 1917, Finn Cole, Michael in Peaky Blinders, and Ferdia Walsh-Pilo, Sing Street. The plot is also intriguing. In the summer of 2003, a trio of Irish teen boys enjoy their post-graduation freedom until they witness a tragic accident that shakes up their lives. However, the execution of this idea falls flat. The inciting incident happens very early on in Here Are the Young Men, barely giving time to establish the characters beforehand. Here Are the Young Men doesn't do enough to develop its characters.